I mean, every day, every game should be Military Appreciation Day, and Military Appreciation Game, and we do a lot of things every game to show that respect and appreciation for the military, as you well documented. But I think those men and women can't be recognized enough, and so anything we can do to get a lot of them, whether it's the ROTC seniors or special veterans, or the message on the video board was really cool from guys overseas and holding the Clemson flag. That was pretty cool stuff. So anything we can do to show our gratitude and appreciation and respect for what they do to defend our freedom, I'm obviously all for it. And so it was cool to wear the Army green jerseys, and we'll continue to show that respect and appreciation every single game. And I love what we're doing in the middle of the fourth inning. I just think it's such a good thing, and just can't be understated how impactful it is for so many veterans who maybe always didn't feel the love over the years.
How great was it to finally see the beer sales here tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it's I didn't notice it. I think I'll probably notice it this weekend. But it's just it speaks to a bigger picture of just the fan experience, enhancing the amenities, making this an atmosphere that truly is a 10th man environment, but just making it a place that we average over 5,000 fans a game, which is good, just like our program has been good over the years. But we've never won a national championship or played a national championship, and I think that's our ceiling, that's our potential. We should be a team that has our sights set on winning a national championship and playing for a national championship. And just like I think we should have our sights set on, we should be one of those facilities that averages 10,000 fans a game. And there's only a handful of them, you can probably count them on one hand, that do that. I just think that's the potential of Clemson baseball. And whether it's expanded seating or beer sales, or just a special standing room area near the visitors bullpen, or any of the future expansion upgrades, things that we can do, that is just always top of mind, is how can we make this an awesome environment where people want to come. Yeah, the baseball's great, but they want to come because it's a fun, entertaining environment.
Is any part of that forward-looking in terms of revenue sharing, and the revenue you can bring in, the more potentially you get?
It could. I don't know the algorithm or the formula for it, but I know that we want to contribute more than we're contributing right now to the athletic department. We want to, not looking at it selfishly in terms of, hey, could we try to squeeze an extra 0.5% in rev share, but can we truly create this special, magical? It already is special and magical, but we all know it. You look at the footprint here from a real estate standpoint, and there's plenty of growth and expansion opportunities. But we got to do our part between the white lines and ultimately play a long time in June to truly create that demand. I am convinced, and I can't be convinced otherwise, that between Atlanta and Charlotte and Clemson Nation and everyone in between, that we can't get 10,000 fans here on a weekend.
Is BJ Bailey in the Sunday spot now? In what ways has he improved as a pitcher from the guy obviously that missed all of last year to what he is now?
Well, I think that's a big part of his story, and any athlete who has their sport taken away from them has a unique perspective on life and on sports. And so when you're injured and you miss an extensive injury like an ACL tear, and you miss the whole year, you don't know how you're going to come back, and you don't know if you're going to return to form, and there's just so many unknowns. And so when you do get back and you do get healthy and you are cherishing every moment, you do have that different perspective and appreciation for it. BJ never wants to come out of the game. I mean, he was always competitive, but just seeing how he's embracing not only his role, but just being able to pitch and play baseball again, and know that not only is his career not over, but he may be playing a lot of baseball after Clemson. He's taking full advantage of it. And so He's always had two different breaking balls. He's always had a fastball. He's always had a changeup. It's just the ability to command those four pitches and to be able to stand on that mound and make big pitches in big spots in the game and wiggle out of jams like he's been doing. And he'll need to continue to do that. But I think it's the neck up stuff with him, the perspective and the appreciation for just getting to be out there pitching for Clemson that is really fueling the most of his success.
Is he even above expectation in terms of kind of what you thought he would be coming into the
Yeah, because we can't say that, we expected him to be our Sunday starter, because we didn't. We had him in a maybe a relief role, somewhere between a margin pitcher to a short reliever, and then he was doing good in those roles as a long reliever, and then he was doing really good coming out of the pen in long relief. And he still comes out of the pen, if you notice, when he takes the mound as a starter, he runs in from the bullpen. He doesn't run in like a normal starter would, and I think that mindset as well of, he's going in to close that first inning, and he's going to go in and shut that inning down, okay, and then do it again the second and the third and do it as many innings as he can, but that one inning at a time mentality, I think, is also helping him. And it helps that he's a JUCO bandit and got long, scraggly hair, and it's just that left-hander that he's a unique kid, but he's an awesome kid, and I'm really happy for him that he's having success, because it is not easy to be injured when you're 18 to 22, 23, and your whole life has been about being a baseball player and having opportunities, and then it's taken away. It's tough. It's double tough. But he has really come back strong.
0 earned runs for Drew Tisworth over his last 3 appearances. What's kind of helped him kind of get going in that groove after a rather, I guess, inconsistent start to the year?
Yeah, I thought he really settled in today. Yeah, he has had some ups and downs, but sometimes you need an extended outing to just kind of find it and feel it. And a lot of times those relievers, they may come in and they don't know if they're going to be in there for a pitch and out, an inning. But when you can kind of settle in and just know you can finish the game, and we, by design, we're not going to pitch Malstead and Garris today under no circumstances. And so for Drew to kind of take those innings that those two guys would have had and just settle in and do what he did was very special. And sometimes that's exactly what they need. They just need to be out there longer and pitch more, because they put such a heightened awareness on just, they got to make this pitch because this is the guy they got to get out to end the inning, and then maybe we're going to somebody else. So for him to settle in and do what he did, that was big time. Maybe kind of that jump off point where he can be extended like Malstead and Garris have as well.
We haven't seen Jacob McGovern or Brandon Bennett in a while. Are they dealing with injury or something?
Yeah, both of them are. Brendan was rehabbing anyways, and I think part of a guy who's rehabbing an elbow is you get some inflammation at times, and so he's just dealing with that. But hopefully he'll be back. I don't know when he'll be back, but we're going to be on the conservative side with that one. And McGovern just had a kind of what we thought was maybe some shoulder soreness. He's had stuff like that in the past, and just had a little bit of a impingement. And but he threw in a simulated game. He and Gillen both threw in a simulated game a couple of days ago, and both looked very good. So very promising. Both McGovern and Gillen will be back to action here very soon.
Anything else for Coach?
Talon Bug is his third start tonight. What would you just like to say his progression right now?
Encouraging. I love seeing him out there. We didn't. Again, part of coming out, I don't think our best. We didn't execute a double play. We made an error. They got the first 3 leadoff hitters on of the game. So I think his performance would have been a lot better had we played a little bit better defense behind him. Maybe he could have settled in a bit and been able to, go deeper into the game. But he just had to throw more pitches each inning. But it's good to see him out there. Love seeing him out there. he's a very talented kid, and he's still coming back as well. And he's every, start that he makes, the pitch count gets a little bit higher. But he's special and special talent, and excited to see what he can do as time progresses. Not just this year, but as the years go on. I think he'll be, one of those staples of our program. Very common name in our program.
Yes, going back to the beer, were you surprised that, Clemson was one of 3 schools that wasn't doing it? That they were still at a point where they weren't selling alcohol, and did you have any input on that? Or?
I didn't, those decisions are, you got Board of Trustees, you got Jim Clemens, you got Graham Neff, and, and there's a lot of people that, this is such a unique and special community that, don't want it and aren't for it. And but it's just a sign of the way college athletics has evolved. And it's a vertical in the revenue streams of concessions that just it's too big to ignore. And it's more something that where fiscal responsibility has to be looked at, especially with the changing landscape and what's coming starting July 1. So I'm all for it, and I'm all for it for different reasons. What's more American than a dog and a beer at a baseball game? So I think it can be family friendly in that regard too. It's it doesn't always have to be associated with an alcohol related incident. It's like there's a lot of families that may want to come out and have beer at a game, and I think it's, again, speaks to that bigger picture of we want to have an environment here that has got something for everybody. Someday, if you want to get a little grandiose, I think of Truist Park. And the Battery at Truist Park, it's just as fun or more fun to be outside of Truist Park than it is inside watching baseball. And that's kind of why we do what we do, not only engaging with the fans, but bringing the kids on the field, and the kids are leading stretch group, and the kids are running around. And, we just want that type of environment where it is so much fun to be at a Clemson baseball game that people are dying to be here. And I think there's a huge opportunity for growth for what we already have is really good, but I think we can do better. So I'm excited for the future of this, and really glad with the decision to improve the amenities at all the athletic venues with this. And Hennessy's probably, I think I was told to keep it short when asked about this, so I apologize in advance, but that's how I feel, and that's the truth.
How do you keep that uniqueness that you talked about here when you talked about people not wanting it? How do you keep that uniqueness, and what would you say to those people that think that's going to spoil the family-friendly atmosphere?
Well, I think the people of this community are what make this community so special, right? And the people within this athletic department make this place so special. And to me, that's what made me feel like Clemson was the gold standard and the blueprint. And I always, 23 years ago, this place was such high reverence. And it wasn't because we had the best facility, and it wasn't because we have this, this bustling town of, all kinds of shopping and entertainment. It's the people. And so the people of this community are just such good people and have such good values, and so aligned with God, country, family, and you put in this college town that they'll still be able to have their values and still be able to enjoy expanded amenities within the athletics environments. So it just gets back to their core family values and what makes this community so special to begin with, and that's them. It's the people themselves, and it's the people within this department, and from the leadership of the Board of Trustees to President Clements to Graham Neff on down. So I don't see, I understand maybe some of the commentary, but I put my trust in the people that would say that the risks will be mitigated because of the values of the people.